I'm gonna share a secret with you that you probably don't know. I can show you how to buy the worst house in the neighborhood and turn it into the best house in the neighborhood with only 3% down, where you could get hundreds of thousands of dollars to do exactly what you wanted to do. In this video, I'm gonna show you 3 specific programs that can help you understand the process and get the money you need to turn that home into a dream home. If you're out looking at homes, you've probably seen what I've seen and what hundreds of my clients have seen looking to buy a home in their home market. Here's what happens oftentimes. The really cool, sharp, well done, staged, beautiful homes are selling like this. And there's a line and there's multiple offers, and it's who can go higher, who can close quicker, who can not do inspections, who can not do all this other stuff to chase after this limited resources of well done homes. I want to talk to you about maybe buying a, lack of a better word, a junky home, a home that maybe needs a bunch of work, a home that most people won't look at because it needs so much work. What if I told you I'm an expert and I have a program that can help you buy that junky home and turn it into a superior home of the one that everyone's chasing after? I've been doing renovation loans for over 20 years in my mortgage career, and I want to talk at a high level about the mortgage product and renovation loans. Put simply, you could buy a home with as little as 3% down or 5% down and potentially get hundreds of thousands of dollars to do the renovation on the house to make it your dream home. I'm going to go in some great detail on 2 or 3 different programs so you get a very good understanding of the product. Now, this is a specialty product. Everyone doesn't do it. And even if they do it, they probably don't do it well. It is critical to have a lender that understands the program to walk you through it. It's also critical to have a good contractor that is going to meet your expectations and understands the program as well. If you're like me and like a lot of my customers and clients that are looking at buying homes, you've probably been out there and you see the fancy, well done, sharp houses selling super fast. Everything's done. Everything's positioned. It's painted right. The colors are right. The fixtures are right. It's staged right. And they line up and they buy it and it sells quick. Buyer after buyer is tripping over each other to see how much more can they pay to beat someone else out. I want to talk about potential to buy a house that's not that gem. It's not that beautiful house. It's not the house that people are lined up to buy. It might be the junky house down the street in the same area. It could potentially meet and be as nice as the house you just looked at that everybody wants. So this home that's overlooked because it's not staged, because it's not beautiful, because the kitchen's outdated, because it smells, because whatever it is overlooked. And one of the many reasons it's overlooked is even if I could buy this house, I barely have enough money to scrape up for a down payment. Where would I find the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to do the renovation to get this house up to snuff? Up to the house down the street. This kind of thinking is understandable because most people don't know that there are options out there where the lender will give you a substantial amount of money to do the renovations you want on that home. So that junky house that you overlooked can become that beautiful house down the street. And honestly, probably better than that beautiful home down the street because you're picking the kitchen you want instead of the kitchen someone else picked. You're picking the paint colors you want, you pick the flooring you want, you pick everything you want that you can do and you can choose to do. These programs are called renovation lending. There's a whole area in the mortgage business that specializes in renovation lending. And let me be clear right now at the beginning. This program isn't for every buyer, and this program isn't known or utilized by every lender. Very few lenders know this program and know the ins and outs. The first program in my favorite and one that I've executed many, many times in my mortgage career is an FHA 203K. Used to be called Streamline. Now it's called a limited loan. And this loan is set up that the borrower can get up to $75,000 of money for renovations on this home. Give you some math so when you're sitting here, you can kind of wrap your head around it. Let's say that house that needs work, you're able to pick up for $325,000. Again, for easy math, let's say the contractor bid for the work that you wanted to do came out to $75,000. So that total purchase price plus the renovations, $400,000. Do some quick math, 3.5% required for down payment. So our down payment is $14,000 is what the down payment is on that $400,000 house. So you as the buyer only have to put $14,000 down as a down payment. There's $75,000 set in the cigar box to do the work on this house. Let's talk about what work is allowed and not allowed in a streamline. The biggest thing with the streamline is it needs to be non-structural work. It's interesting that structural can be labeled different ways, and it is a little bit vague, but let me tell you what the easy ones are that could fall into this $75,000. A brand new kitchen, brand new bathrooms, all new flooring in the house, all new paint, blowing out some walls as long as they're not load-bearing walls, closets, roofs, windows, siding, pretty much anything that's non-structural. There's a whole list of what you can and you can't do. This is just some of them. I've seen people transform modest-sized master bedrooms into beautiful master bedrooms and closets and everything else. Taking small, old, dated bathrooms and turning them to luxury bathrooms. Taking that 1970s kitchen and opening it up and having that new modern floor plan. Speaking of kitchens, appliances can also be financed into this. I see so many people that scrape everything they have together to buy a house that needs a bunch of work, and guess what happens? They get into it and they just don't have enough to get it done. And it's years and years and years of scraping and clawing and trying to get it done where you're living in a construction zone throughout this entire house. This streamline is simple, it's easy, it does a lot of really great things, and it's my favorite program of the renovation lending because it's so simple. The second program I want to talk about is also an FHA renovation program, and it's an FHA Standard. And with an FHA Standard renovation loan, you're allowed to do some bigger projects. I'd say a heavier lift, things that are structural. An example would be small house where you wanted to blow the back of the house out and add an addition or add a second story or do some bigger work where we're going to do not just cosmetic, but big structural items. An extreme example of how you could use an FHA Standard renovation loan would be a house that had burnt to the ground and the only thing left was the foundation. You could come in and build a single family house up to the FHA maximum loan amount. In most parts of the country, that's in the mid $500,000 range. In other parts of the country, it's significantly higher. But you could do all that work and you'd only have to put 3.5% down of that total. Talking through some general numbers to give you an idea of this same loan and scenario. Let's say you're looking at that house that needs a bunch of work and it's a $200,000 home in maybe a $500,000 or $600,000 neighborhood. You could go through and put $300,000 in renovations on a $200,000 purchase price. So that total would be $500,000 is your total between what you bought it for and what the renovations were. So what do you need to put down? The answer is your down payment is only 3.5%. So in that same scenario, 3.5% of $500,000 is $17,500 would be your downstroke to buy this house. Something else with both of these FHA programs, both the standard and the limited, they are for 1 to 4 unit properties. As long as you are the owner occupant of one of the properties, you can do this same program for a multifamily up to 4 units, but you do have to occupy one of the units. As the units go up, so does the FHA loan limits. FHA loan limit for a 4 unit in most of the parts of the country are a minimum of $1 million. million. There's some other areas in the country where it's even higher than that, but $1 million. So think of that same scenario where there's a 4-unit property that maybe is really run down for a few $100,000, where you could come in and put hundreds of thousands of more dollars into it, get it up to snuff, occupy 1 unit, and rent out those other 3 units. Incredible program for a low down payment. The final product to talk about in this renovation lending is a conventional mortgage and a conventional renovation loan. There are different nuances between FHA lending and conventional. A really good mortgage lender that knows these programs are going to help guide you in what's best for you. A lot of the same guidelines fall into conventional, as we talked about with FHA, with both a limited and a full or a standard. Piece being over $75,000, we need a HUD consultant. Less than $75,000, we don't need a HUD consultant. Sometimes the loan options for conventional loan are less expensive than FHA. There's certain things that different loan programs will allow and others won't. Give you a broad stroke example. For a conventional loan and a renovation, you can put a brand new, beautiful swimming pool in your backyard. FHA will not allow that. Conventional loan will allow that. There's different nuances between these programs. There's definitely some pluses with the conventional loan. It's case by case and borrower by borrower. The last thing to touch base with conventional loan limits. The conventional loan limits are higher in each market than what the FHA loan limits are. So scenario, maybe it's a $300,000 purchase and a $500,000 renovation, going to fit into that higher loan limits that conventional loans allow that FHA don't. Again, an expert that knows this product is going to help you navigate this. Now that you have an understanding of the renovation program, let's talk about the flow and how buying a home and using a renovation loan would work for you. I really like to strip this down to really general idea to get a real overall 1,000-foot view of what it looks like. One of the first things I'd say is this. When you're buying a home and using a renovation loan, at the point of sale, when you're negotiating the price of this house with your real estate agent, your job is to negotiate the best deal possible for that house, as is, where is. If that house is missing a kitchen sink, if that house is trash, if that house has very few other people that want to buy it, fantastic. Play that to your advantage, because you're going to fix this dog up and it's going to be great when it's done. So use that to your advantage. Negotiate to buy the best price, as is, where is. Also very critical in this phase. You need to negotiate a inspection period. I would suggest a little longer inspection period. Inspection periods vary around the country and what's the norm for a particular area. In my market, 7 to 10 days is norm. I'd love to see a negotiation of about 14 days for inspections. And here's the reason why. If you feel like you're heading towards doing a renovation loan and you're getting ready to write an offer and you think it's going to happen and you're getting closer, I will tell you, you will want to start dialogue with a contractor right away, because our goal is going to be is that during this inspection period, we are going to get our inspector in. We might not even have the inspector come in because we're going to rip the furnace out, we're going to put a new roof on, and we're changing everything. So what's the inspector going to tell us? To bring your general contractor in to put together a bid for you, a detailed bid for you. Maybe it's a standard FHA where we've got this big program, we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, or maybe it's unlimited and it's $50,000. Whatever that is, we want that contractor on our hip, ready to get in and give us details of what the costs are going to be for this. Contractors, like everything else, prices seem to be going up. There's a chance that you might think it's $50,000 to do this work, only to find out it's $100,000 and it blew your budget. If it did blow your budget, you would look at possibly backing out of this transaction while you were in your inspection period. The bids come in as expected and you're happy with it. You'll be bringing your purchase contract to buy the house along with your contract bids to your lender. Now, lenders are particular in who this contractor is going to be. It has to be someone who knows what they're doing. The last thing the lender wants to do is shovel money out to someone that isn't going to get the work done. There are a number of rules and guidelines that keep you protected so that contractor isn't paid too much for work that isn't complete. But very important, your lender is going to have rules for your contractor, but you want to have them ready to go. All the renovation programs require additional money to be held. It's a reserve contingency because guess what? If you've ever built a home or done any renovations, I will tell you the unexpected happens. So let's say we have a $300,000 bid for work. The lender will likely hold $330,000 to $345,000. If you're the first person to ever build a house and come in exactly at budget and that money is left over at the end, that'll be paid down towards your principal balance on your loan. If you get towards the end of the project, everything went exactly as planned, but you decide you want to add something that wasn't originally on there, guess what? You can use that contingency if you choose to do it. These are a lot of the details and we can spend a lot of time diving into them, but my goal here is to give you a high level understanding of a very underutilized program. If watching this video gets you excited, I'm excited for you. I think this is an underutilized program, and I'll tell you one of the reasons why. A lot of lenders are lazy. Why would they want to do a more complex process when they could just give you a simple widget and have you go and get paid? Now, all the loan programs I'm going to talk about cover the purchase price, the renovation cost, all rolled into one, where you only have to put down 3.5%, or 5% down of that total. I think this is an awesome program. If you're looking for a professional, I'd love to be your guy and see if this is a great program for you. Contact information is below. When you connect with me, you talk to me or a couple of my great people on the team to collect some original information, but you will be sitting down with me. We'll be covering things together in Zoom. I want you to understand this program, and I want to help you build wealth through real estate.